The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? It's the week of December 10th, 2018. This is Might Be Sports. I am Taylor Cooper. Kevin Reavy is not here tonight. CJ is with me. What up, CJ?
How's it going?
And I guess Kevin Reavy will be with us shortly over the phone.
He has some amazing luck with cars.
Amazing luck with cars.
Yes.
Apparently.
$1,000 later.
Which is a real shame. He hit me up and was like, more car trouble. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
Well, he thought it was just a flat tire.
Yeah.
And then got that checked out. The tire place called him and goes, yeah, it's not the tire. It's the rim.
So we strategically do this show on Tuesday nights. That's when we record. Might Be Sports.
Now the cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag. We record this the night before we release it. But we do that for a reason. We do that so that Monday Night Football is over.
Yes.
And that we can be as up to date as possible with release date. All the rest of the shows don't really matter in that way because we're not talking about breaking news things.
I mean, depends how big the event would be for Might Be News.
True. But most shows, I have like plenty of time to just kind of, slowly put it together and a couple days, a day or two, maybe. But this one.
Badmouth Santa Claus.
Yeah, I was talking shit on Santa Claus on Might Be News on Monday. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out.
Neglecting the fact that two people on the network did find Santa Claus.
Found Santa Claus in a movie, yes.
And brought him to Pennsylvania.
That's true. I don't know. I laugh because co-host Kev and co-host Danny are so Christmassy. And I just try to fuck with them a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, well, maybe we shouldn't tell kids that Santa Claus is real. And I get to see their pupils dilate and their eyes get really big. Like, what? Hysterical.
But Kevin's used to it. He watches Jersey Shore.
True. So, like we're saying, Kevin Reavy's not here tonight. So we're just going to kind of shoot the shit for a couple minutes. And, I just want to kind of say that when we started this show, we wanted to kind of talk about all teams, which we do. We are definitely homers, though. If you didn't know, we live right outside of Philadelphia. We collectively root for Philadelphia teams.
Yes.
I root for other teams as well. For example, we're going to talk about the Eagles when we talk to Kevin on the phone.
Game.
A bullshit game with the Cowboys and the absolutely atrocious officiating. I mean, they got some.
We'll save it. We'll save it.
They got some bad calls with Dallas too, but it was just horrible. It was horrible. That opening kickoff was horrible. We'll save it. But we talk a lot about Philadelphia sports on this show. We have Philadelphia sports insiders calling us for interviews and stuff, which is great. We talked to Tom McCarthy, voice of the Phillies, this season. Season 1 of Might Be Sports has been outrageously great.
It's always interesting because I don't want to hear anything until I come here. I don't want any prep. I don't want to know anything. And I mean, that's how I am for Novak and Franz too. But
yeah,
once I come in here and I hear who Kevin has, I'm always impressed.
Right. It's funny. Kevin's calling us right now. See if I can get this hooked up before I hang up on him. We'll do it live.
All right. Let's see.
I don't know if he knows that he's calling us.
Let's see. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Am I on Might Be Sports right now?
You're live on Might Be Sports right now.
He answered the phone call live.
Answered it live.
We did it live. We're doing it live.
I'm so honored. This is an incredible opportunity for me. I don't know how to thank you guys.
Your career's going to go places now.
I don't know how to tell you this, but your voice sounds spectacular on the phone.
Really?
It does. I can't wait for you to hear the episode.
I should do one of those. I mean, CJ would probably know more than I would. Do they still do those? I don't know how to say like the nice version. Do they still do like those phone sex hotline things?
Oh yeah, definitely.
They do.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if I have that going on, but it could be, a career prospect.
I don't know how many people they have calling in for dudes, but if there is a market for that, you definitely got it.
1 minute in, and it's already off the rails.
So I was just telling our listeners that you're not here, obviously.
Yes.
But that the first season of Might Be Sports has been spectacular. But as hard as we try to cover the national landscape and sports, we do lean home Philly. And we talk a lot of Eagles, we talk a lot of Phillies, and that's realistically all I have to talk about tonight. It's just a few things.
Yeah, I was thinking about that myself, and I mean, I don't want to step on your toes, but also you want to talk about, how Gabby got kicked off of Survivor last week too. Did you guys already get into that?
Oh yeah, we already went over Survivor.
We covered Survivor. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't want to double dip on that. Then I apologize, but that was pretty intense.
We went in depth.
Oh yeah, we went in depth. So definitely make sure you listen back.
But yeah, I mean, hey, this is a different experience for me on Might Be Sports. I got a bottle. I think CJ knows the story with this. CJ, I'm at my parents' house. So what do you think I'm drinking right now?
Gin and tonic.
The gin and tonic. That is correct. I got my home gin and tonic. For whatever reason, this is my favorite home drink. I think my parents think this is like what I drink all the time. It's just for home.
Oh, come on. Let's be honest here. They saw you drinking the gin and tonic. They got you gin for when you're visiting. And now you're so far behind on the gin. That's all you can drink up there. So they assume you only drink gin and tonics.
That might be true. It's like an alcoholic Sprite. It's an alcoholic Sprite. It's great. It's amazing. But anyway, yeah. There's so many things to talk about. Oh my gosh. So first of all, I want to touch on this real quick. The Lee Smith and Harold Baines Hall of Fame thing last night was crazy. I don't know if you guys heard about this stuff, but the CJ, if you could look it up, it's on Deadspin. They always have the best headlines because they can say whatever the hell they want. And I think the headline was, "Really? These fucking guys?" Which was the best. And it's just, I mean, every headline, I Googled Harold Baines and I felt sorry for the guy. Every headline was, the Hall of Fame is now tainted. It's less Hall of Famey with Harold Baines in it and Lee Smith. But, not to get into too much of that, but I did like a deep dive on stats last night. I thought I came up with an interesting one. So Lee Smith, he played 18 years in the majors, and I found out only 5 years did he have an ERA below 3. So then I looked into it, with a minimum of 40 games played per season, how many pitchers in the history of Major League Baseball, at least back to 1901, had an ERA, how many seasons they had an ERA below 3. So there were 70 guys that had at least 6 seasons with an ERA below 3. So that's more than Lee Smith had at 5. 70 guys. Out of those 70 guys, first of all, 70 guys is a lot. Out of those 70 guys, 58 were not Hall of Famers.
Well, let me see that one more time, CJ. Yeah. CJ just found the article. Really? These fucking guys?
Really?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. All the articles are like that, but Deadspin always hits it right on the head. But it's so insane. So the 70 guys that had 6 seasons with under a 3 ERA, Lee Smith had 5. 70 guys that had 6, and 58 of them are not Hall of Famers. Like, really, like guys like Dan Quisenberry, like these guys, like, they're just not anywhere near Hall of Famers, but he's got these saves. He's got the one stat, a lot of saves. That's like somehow a big deal. But whatever. I mean, that gets me all riled up, but I understand, not everybody's a big baseball stat head like me.
So, Kevin, here's what you do. You go to their Twitters and you look up from 4 or 5 years ago and look for controversial tweets.
I'm telling you, whenever I'm bored now, I do that. And it's not to be one of those guys that then goes public with it. I will keep it. I will take it to my grave if I find a famous person with that stuff. I'll probably show it to you, CJ, but that's about it. I never want to be that guy.
It's like the worst thing you can do, because CJ will be on the phone with TMZ in like 3 seconds.
There's a guy that trolls me and Spader relentlessly on Twitter. He stopped now, but the guy's really weird. I might as well put his Twitter handle out there. He's at NatSquid. I think it's NATSSQUID. So he's a big Nationals fan, and he would just hound Spader relentlessly. Then he kept coming after me, and then he ended up like a year later. He was the guy that busted that was it Josh Hader for the Brewers, who had all those weird like racist tweets and everything from back when he was like 15.
Yeah.
So he was the one that found them. So he was all of a sudden part of this big news story, and me and Spader, like, I don't know if they realize this guy is like off the rails. He is a weird dude. I mean, he would send Spader private messages, and CJ, I told you this about him. Like, he would invite Spader onto these like group messages with like Campbell's Soup and like a bunch of these like big Twitter handles, and he would just say hi to each one, like, "Hi, Campbell's Soup. Hi, Ryan Spader," and just keep going on for days and days and days. Well, he's a weird guy.
I think the best thing that can sum this up is I listened to Chris Rabb's podcast today, and he was talking with Darren Miller, and they were talking about people that are fans of other people on social media and the different things they do to try and get attention and acknowledgement out of them. So it's always very weird stuff, or it's very aggressive stuff, because if you troll someone, they're more likely to answer back. And then you get to tell that person, you get to tell everyone, be like, "Oh, Kevin Reavy just answered me back. I called him a piece of shit, but he answered me back."
Yeah, that's the thing. I will never go low. There's one person in my life who I've decided to go low with, because frankly, me and him are not very big fans of each other. But that's it. I got one guy on my list, and that's it. Everybody else, I will treat with the most respect. It doesn't matter what you say to me, what you call me. I won't go off the hinges. But I understand how it can get kind of hairy on Twitter. It's not a friendly place.
No, it's not. But back to the Homer aspect of our show.
So you want to talk about Andrew McCutchen?
That's what I was getting ready to ask you. What do you think about it?
I love it. I mean, I was concerned about the dollars, but when you like look into it, you have to look at everything right now with like a crazy analytical mind. And I think, even though he had kind of a down year, George Springer for the Astros, I think McCutchen, his year last year, thought to be like a down year, kind of on par with Springer. I mean, and everybody still thinks he's a very valuable bat. I think McCutchen's only like 31 years old, maybe 32 next year. The dollar amount's high, but I was reading an article on ESPN today from Dave Schoenfeld, which, really quick tangent, is it just me? Every time I go into ESPN.com now, I keep getting those pop-up things that say congratulations. Just throwing that out there. If anybody else is dealing with that, or if it's just me and my phone.
It's just you, as far as I know.
That's a virus. That's a virus.
It does like the automatic redirect, and then it's impossible to get back. But whatever. I go on too many tangents. So anyway, so it's like what, $16.5 million or something per year, $17 million per year. Apparently, and if you do the math, it doesn't preclude them from actually getting, which it's pie in the sky, but getting Harper and Machado. They could still fit it in and still be at like right around that like luxury tax threshold of like $200 million. If you add up all those salaries, it kind of gets you there. But And then, as far as going over those salaries, they could still make moves. I mean, they could trade guys that are making a little bit of money, like Michael Franco. If you got Machado, you kind of got to get rid of him. Odubel Herrera is a guy you could move. There's a little bit of buzz right now going around, which is probably because nobody really knows. It's just speculation, and they just run wild with it. But that they might trade Sixto Sanchez, their top prospect, they're trying to move right now, plus one of the outfielders like Nick Williams, Odubel Herrera, maybe like a crazy package to get Mike Trout. And, that would be insane. I don't know what it would take. It'd probably be, Sanchez, who's their top prospect, both the guys I just mentioned in the outfield, plus their former number one pick, Mickey Moniak, plus probably a bunch of other guys. But that would be insane if they could pull that off, because he's got 2 years left in his contract, but he's a guy you're pretty sure is not going to leave. So there's like less of a threat there. Like if you trade for him, you're not getting a 2-year rental. You're pretty much like, all right, he's going to be our guy for the next, and they probably would just re-sign him for the next 12 years anyway. Yeah. But I think it's a great deal. It doesn't stop them from doing anything. And it's kind of insurance in case they do nothing. Like at least they could say at the end of the season, they can still make minor moves. They could say, hey, we got Segura and we got McCutchen. And that's a pretty good combo right there. Added to their lineup that they're looking at right now with a few minor adjustments here and there. I think they're in good shape. And if they don't get either of the two big free agents, I think they still got a lot to trade. So I think they're going to figure it out and get somebody one way or another.
Yeah. I hope so. We'll see. I'm happy about it. I like Andrew McCutchen. I mean, he's not 2013, 2014 Andrew McCutchen, but he's still Andrew McCutchen, right? So and
he makes
cool
your defense so much better. I mean, this is great. You're kind of getting the same offensive production that you were getting with Rhys Hoskins and Carlos Santana. Except now you get two guys that are much better defensively at their best positions. Right. So instead of Rhys Hoskins not knowing what he's doing in left field, you got Andrew McCutchen. And instead of a statue at first base in Santana, you got Rhys Hoskins. He's much more comfortable there.
Right.
And it's just, I mean, it's a pretty good combo of moves. When you look at the money, it makes you think, oh, shoot, that's a lot of money to be thrown around. But it's a move that actually makes sense. When they got Santana last year, it didn't make any sense.
Right.
And then they just kept adding more first basemen as the year went on. It was like, what the hell are they doing? So, this at least it makes sense, and they're spending money wisely. And if they do nothing else big, it makes them better. So that's good.
Yeah, I'm with it. Next story. Let's see. I got Jimmy Butler's MRI came back and he's fine, but he's still doubtful for Wednesday. Even without him, they still managed to blow out the Pistons the other night. Did you catch that game?
I didn't see it. I heard about it. Probably the reason why I wasn't too interested in seeing it, because Blake Griffin didn't play, right?
Correct.
And that's one of the things, like, when I watch the Sixers now, like, my big thing is I want to see how they do against these big men that kind of take over games.
Right.
They have a real difficult time against, like, individual superstars. And Blake Griffin's a guy that kind of consistently keeps, like, killing them. I think he had, 50 points or more two times ago.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the last time out, he went to the line, 20 times.
Right.
Whatever it was. So, I mean, he keeps going out there and killing them. So, when I heard he wasn't playing, I'm like, they should win that one. That's not going to be too exciting a game. But it is interesting with this Embiid Butler stuff going on.
I caught
it's a good thing it's early in the season because they have time to gel. So, we'll see.
I caught the post-game interviews, and that was the first question that they asked JoJo was about the comments that he made regarding his position and with Butler and everything. And he kind of went into how he just felt like he's been in a slump. He hasn't been feeling well, and his comments were taken out of context. He just meant that the whole structure and where he's at. I don't think he wants to be out on the 3-point line as much as he is. I think he wants to be down low where the big man's supposed to be. You know?
Yeah, and I don't think there was anything really wrong with what he was saying.
No, he
said
kind
of blown
he said
up
it was
a
taken. Yeah, he said it was taken totally out of context, and that he loves all of his teammates. And I mean, I saw the replay of one of Jimmy's game winners, his first game winner with us, and Joel Embiid was the hypest person on the court besides him. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think I think they just need a shooter. I think they need somebody on the outside so Joel can come back inside.
Yeah, he's just upset with how he's playing.
Right.
I don't think he's so much upset with his new role on the team or how the team is now set. I don't think that's the way it is at all. And I thought that was like how it came through in the interview. It just was kind of like overblown. This is a guy that's just frustrated with how he's playing, and it's a new role. And you see that all the time in any sport. Somebody will come in and, I mean, usually it's a more like politically correct kind of like lame way to answer the question where they say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm struggling right now. I'm still trying to find my way in the new offense, the new way we're situated right now. And they say it in a very PC way. And, those kind of quotes just come in and out and with no fanfare, nobody cares. But
right.
That's how it's normally answered. Well, I mean, Joel Embiid he doesn't talk like that. That's not how he operates. Everything he says is kind of, kicked up to 11. So he was saying kind of the same stuff which is, we have a new teammate, we have a new way of doing things, and I need to get more comfortable in that system. That's how, that's the boring way of answering it. And but it's all the same. So I never thought it was going to be that big a deal, but I mean, I am concerned if, there's something to it. If the reason why he's playing poorly right now is because he's not being used correctly. So, I mean, again, if you're a Sixers fan, plenty of time. This is what you want to deal with right now. And by the way, they're still winning a ton of games.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So speaking of winning a ton of games, let's talk about a team that's not winning a ton of games. The Philadelphia Eagles.
So much bullshit.
The absolutely horrible officiating on Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think I've seen one person this week on any sports channel agree with the call on the opening kickoff. I don't think anybody. I think every single person. And I don't know if there's been an official release from the NFL or anything like, because you know how sometimes they'll come out and be like, yeah, we missed that. Or, that was, our bad or whatever. I've seen that before.
So far behind with comments anyway that 2020 you'll hear about it.
It was absolutely terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But that doesn't mean that the Eagles deserve to win that game. I think that we are just so banged up. I think that the team, we're running out of the next man up. We're just running out.
Yeah.
And, I mean, on defense, it's basically the front guys and Malcolm Jenkins that's playing, that's good. And, I mean, we're getting decent pressure on quarterbacks, but we're just not doing enough. They're just not doing enough. Carson Wentz, I don't know what's going on with Carson Wentz. I feel like he missed out on an off season, and I hope that's all it is.
But I think that's all it is.
You think
for sure?
Because I
think he's just now forced to go through another rookie season. I think that's what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, well, that's what it feels like we're seeing right now. He's not. I'm glad he's not moving around as much because I don't want to see him get hurt like that again. But you're standing in the pocket. Why are you overthrowing receivers by like 10 yards? That are pretty much. It's one of the only times that so and so is going to get open. The only game, the all game. He overthrows
then it
them
seems
like
by the end of these games, he's putting it all together. So it's just. It's a frustrating combo, but it is interesting because I could tie this whole thing together and why I'm on the phone right now. Sunday, and we're all out having a good time. I had this problem with my car. I'm not going to get into it, but that's the reason why I'm not in
Already
studio
got into
now.
it.
We went in depth.
Right.
Yeah, that was
so,
right after the Survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Perfect. You got plenty of time to get into Survivor. We don't have to touch on that. But I mean, really, guys, Gabby going out like that, unbelievable. Everybody thought it was going to be Christian, not me. I believed in Christian.
I thought
it got Gabby out. She had it coming.
I thought it was going to be Christian.
Say.
I did.
You know
I
what?
thought it was.
I'm having the last word on this. Gabby had it coming, and that's all I'm going to say about it. All right. So let's just stop talking about it right there. But no, so. I had to go pick up my car from the shop, and
he walked out right at the Miami Dolphins play.
Oh, did I really?
Yes.
I didn't even know about that.
Yes,
well,
you left right as they hiked the ball.
What a crazy play. Real quick, because that's my go to the week. That whole play was my go to the week. Play of the year. Is that the play of the year?
Decade.
That's the most exciting play I've definitely seen all year. At least.
It's so improbable in so many ways, and if Gronkowski doesn't stumble there at the end, it's a dead play. But I guess I don't know. We'll see how this has an effect on the playoffs, and it was interesting to see how late in the season. We're not too late right now, but late in the season last year, it was that play. Steelers Patriots that fumble on the goal line, the Jesse James play for the Steelers, which kind of screwed up the playoffs. And I mean, however, if that goes the other way, I'm sure you do all the mixing of combinations. The Eagles might not be winning a Super Bowl. You could pick any of those teams. It could be the Vikings. It could be the Patriots, the Steelers. Who knows? But that one play kind of changed everything. So it's going to be interesting to see if this kind of shakes up the whole playoff picture. And, in a few weeks, it's going to be exciting to see if it changes anything. And I haven't really been paying attention to the Dolphins. Are they even still in the picture?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're in the hunt. I can't look at my phone because you're on my phone.
That makes sense. Yes. But, but I was going to say I was driving, at the time, I was listening on the radio to the Eagles play that first play of the game, and the home call was so insane. I couldn't wait to watch the video, and once I saw it, you didn't see any clear one Eagle come up with the ball, but there's three guys over it. So I mean, the latest I heard, not necessarily from the league, but they had a guy on either Fox Sports or ESPN. I heard. Who was a former official say it's in the rule book. They don't need to see an individual player come up with the ball if it's under a group of players from the same team. Right. So by rule, it should have went to the Eagles.
It's preposterous that it didn't.
Yeah, completely blind.
Complete garbage. It was complete garbage.
But the Eagles aren't good enough right now. If they weren't going to improve, they were a waste of a playoff spot to begin with. But right now, they could still find their way in. They're tied with the Panthers right now. They don't have the head-to-head thing, so they actually have to go a game up. But the Panthers have a tough road ahead. I mean, the Eagles have a tough road ahead too, but a team's getting in at 8-8. So the Eagles could still lose one.
Yeah.
It depends.
Ugh.
They could still lose one, and I guess they would if they go 2-1 and the Panthers go 1-2. But the Panthers could very well go 0-3. The way I think they play the Saints twice and they have the Falcons once. They could beat the Falcons. Saints are going to be tough.
Shit, we could go 0-3.
Oh yeah,
straight up.
Sure. It's just as tough a road for us.
Oh, it's garbage. I don't even want to think
see.
about the Eagles in the playoffs.
You just want to root for.
See, people are just overwhelmingly like, not everybody, but a lot of people are just like, oh, they could still do it. They could. No. I don't even want to think about it. You know what? I saw this post during the game on Sunday, and the guy said, so this This is the battle to see who loses in the first round of the playoffs. And I totally agree with that. I think that Cowboys-Eagles on Sunday was the battle for the first round loss in the playoffs. Straight up, I don't think either one of those teams is good enough to beat the Rams in the postseason, the Saints in the postseason. Because no matter what, they're going to have to play either one of those teams on the road, and they're not going to do it. No, I don't see it.
And as much of a trope as it is, and I hate myself for saying it, the Eagles are one of those teams where you say, nobody wants to face these guys going into the playoffs. And, I hate saying those tropey lines, but it's so true because they did win last year. And how did they win last year? As the underdog. They're going to be the underdog again. No team, no number 1 seed, or I guess it would be like a number 3 seed after 2 byes, wants to face the defending Super Bowl champions with a humongous chip on their shoulder. They don't want to. They want to face a team like the down and out Panthers, like the Vikings. The Vikings would be amazing. They're such a mess right now. They would love to face the Vikings. The Eagles, not so much. So just getting there, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but it's exciting to just make the playoffs. That's one step. It's an exciting part of the year. The next step is winning a playoff game. Then, you go further and further. And, I just found out how exciting it was. We all found out last year to win the whole damn thing. So step by step, you don't need to win it all to have an exciting year. So we'll see how it goes.
I mean, technically everyone in our division's in the hunt. So.
They're in the hunt. Let me tell you something.
And the Cleveland Browns are in the hunt for the AFC. So that tells you how this year in football is doing.
I was reserved on pulling out my panic button. Okay? I didn't pull it out. Sunday, I pulled it out and I broke it. I pounded it. I couldn't stop hitting the panic button. I'm in better luck next season mode. That's where I'm at. You want to know what it is? It's Sixer season. That's how I feel right now. I'm happy for the Eagles. I want everybody to just chill and get healthy. And I want Carson Wentz. You know what? I don't want to see Carson Wentz start another game. That's how I feel. Until next year. That's how I feel. They're done. They're done. Especially, all right, I'll give them one more week. Go out and try against the Rams. If you go out and try against the Rams and they mop the floor with you, then
that's going to be a fun game.
Forget it. Forget about it.
I'm still looking forward to it.
Ugh. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it one bit, in case you can't tell. Oh, it's bad. But I'm still sitting here in my Super Bowl champion sweatshirt. You know what I mean? I'm gonna watch the games. Fan. I support them. I hope. Like I said, they're just done. They're not good enough right now. I'm gonna tell you, did you see Patrick Mahomes with the no-look pass on Sunday? Did you see that? They're gonna win the Super Bowl this year. I watched some of that Chiefs game. They're gonna win the Super Bowl this year. I really don't. That's how I feel. I have a gut feeling about it. I feel like Andy Reid's going to get his this year. I really feel that way.
I thought the Rams were a shoo-in. I thought they were looking strong. They were my team, and I wonder how much they're missing Cooper Kupp. And with him going down, and I don't follow them enough to know if they lost anybody else of big significance. I know Cooper Kupp definitely stands out to me because he was their rock on that team. He might not have been their most talented wide receiver, but then again, maybe he was. Robert Woods is having a big year, Brandon Cooks, but when Kupp wasn't dealing with these nagging injuries all year, he was just hauling in tons of passes for big yardage and scoring. And then the guys like Robert Woods and Cooks, they would step up when he was kind of, getting hurt. I think it was like 3 different games he got hurt in with like 3 different ailments. And then the last one just came out for good. But I do wonder if him being out, they had a 3-headed monster, like crazy there. And when you take him out, kind of a bigger guy, a bigger target, but really rangy. See, with Woods, who's never really been a number 1, He's always been like number 2 or 3. And Brandon Cooks, who never could quite stand out as a number 1. It would get close, but couldn't quite get there. So now you're left with, you had this great bunch of number 2s that just work perfectly together. You take one out, and now it's like, oh shit, does it work? When it's just these 2 2s, does it work as fluidly as before? And I don't know if we can go back to when, Kupp got hurt, and that's when it all started to fall apart. But the Rams don't look very good right now. And I wonder if that's part of the problem. I mean,
I wonder.
Goff's been throwing to wide open guys all year long. Like, we're not even sure how great. Not to like throw shade at him too much. Obviously, I'm a Wentz guy, but he really has been throwing to wide open targets all year long. And I wonder if those are starting to go away.
Yeah, I'm going to say one more thing on the topic of the Rams, and then we're going to do a lightning round of TMZ. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm cool with that.
All right. One last thing about this Rams team. I think Chicago showed the world that they are the sleeper to get into the Super Bowl, and I think that they could do that to anybody in the playoffs. I do. And I think that that's very interesting. I think their defense is just tremendous, and they might show everybody that defense can still win championships in 2018. Because I don't think that that the Kansas City Chiefs has seen anything quite that tough this year. Not to say that the Kansas City Chiefs are absolutely going, but to me, they're my favorite team to go this year. That's my pick. Is the Chiefs. This Patrick Mahomes kid is incredible. Incredible. No-look passes, 40-yard in stride passes from across his body. Unbelievable.
He's amazing. But I do wonder, the Bears are interesting because without the Bears, without their defense, there would be no good defenses in the NFL this year. I think. I mean, at least none that stand out.
It's them and the Ravens. Them and the Ravens.
Were the first to stand out. But the Ravens, they're nothing special. I mean, maybe they worked themselves back into the picture, but I mean, they have a mess on their hands right now with their starting quarterback situation, and I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah.
But the Bears are this big standout defense that
they're legit. They're legit.
A game changer. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go up against. This is what we saw last year. The Eagles went up against the Vikings, who were supposedly had that kind of defense.
Yeah.
So I think, but it's just so weird right now because the Bears, they seem to be stopping these great offenses. So if they can keep that going, they could go all the way. And it's just a team without many big stars. I mean,
Khalil Mack's pretty much the only one I can think of.
Yeah, on offense, I mean, besides, Mitchell Trubisky, to name a wide receiver, it's hard for me to think of one offhand. I know they have a guy that I think was on, he's on Jacksonville for a while. Can't remember his name, though. But he was good for a little while, and then they traded him to the Bears, or he signed with the Bears, whatever it was. They got him. He's like a number 2. Same kind of team as the Rams, but instead of a bunch of number 2s, they kind of have like maybe one number 2 and a bunch of number 3s and 4s, and they make it work. They got a couple tight ends that are pretty good, and somehow they pull it off. This new running back they got, he's good, Cohen. But there's no stars really on offense, and they're just making it work. Trubisky, he's kind of like in the Alex Smith mold, where bend don't break. And he's still learning. He's getting better and better. So they could be a team that just starts steamrolling towards the end of the year. That's where they're at right now. Yeah. But you do think they're going to have to score some more points. So
no, I agree with that.
Time will tell.
Let's do a quick. We're running out of time. Let's do a quick TMZ, like 3 or 4 of them. 3 or 4 of them.
All right,
quickly.
So Roger the Ripped Kangaroo died at the age of 12.
Have you seen this kangaroo?
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the boxing videos with this kangaroo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing is lethal. Was lethal. Rest in peace.
NASA to Steph Curry. Moon landing really happened. Check it out.
Can we stop with the NBA players commenting on science?
I'm telling you, there's something in the Gatorade.
Moon landing thing. when I don't know if I was a kid. I don't think the show is that old, but well, at least in my early 20s, I saw an episode of Penn and Teller bullshit where they put this whole moon landing thing to bed. It happened. Get over it. It happened.
I believe
We
it.
get to stop this. It just happened. It's just true. We need to let this crap go.
Kansas City Chiefs owner team knew about 3 violent incidents before cutting him.
I guess third strike, you're out.
That's what it sounds like.
He's still going to sign somewhere. Maybe not this year, but next.
So, what are we doing? One more?
Let's do one more.
All right, Brett Favre. I'm not right for Packers job, but I know who is.
Peyton Manning.
No, that's not his answer.
Oh, well, I mean, if this was a Disney movie, it'd be like his nephew, Steve Favre.
No.
Right.
Doug Peterson is who he recommends.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Doug P. and
What a
Aaron
weird-
Rodgers.
What a weird kind of asshole thing to say. Why would he say that?
Yeah, for real.
I mean,
Clearly,
they put him on the
he's-
spot, so.
I would like to see how that was worded. I bet he said who would be perfect to coach them, and he probably couched it by saying, "Well, he's got a team, but I think Doug Peters." I don't know. That's dumb.
Let's see if we can do this through the phone. Do you have a go to the week?
I do have a go to the week.
Oh, the
I have a couple
greatest,
goats
the greatest of all time.
of the week.
Yes, perfect
Boom.
phone call execution. Well-
Okay, so let me try to nail this as I take a sip of my gin and tonic, thanks to my parents here, who happen to be my goats of the week.
Oh,
So my mom Charlotte and my stepdad Dave. So let's my stepdad is working diligently helping make sure that apparently when you hit a pothole, every individual piece in your vehicle that makes it work just breaks, and then you got to pay for all those things to get them replaced. So that's what I'm working on right now. But he's helping ease that situation and providing some great gin as well as the tonic. And my mom, great cook, she made some Italian stuff tonight, some stuffed shells, meatballs, some sausages, great stuff. Can't say enough about this place. She's got a pool in the backyard. Of course, it's not open right now, but in the summertime, this is like a little slice of heaven out here. So
you're telling us to look for it on Airbnb?
you know what? That wouldn't be a bad idea. We do actually call this place Hilltown Hideaway. That's like its actual. That's what we call it when it's right in the middle of summer and it's really getting to that point where like it seriously is. I'll come up here for a couple of days and it's like I am on vacation. It's just nice. It's nice when you're older and your parents become like your friends and you're like drinking buddies
nice.
because for one, you don't get yelled at as much, which
Right.
is nice. Because when you're a kid, you're just getting yelled at for shit, for stuff like I'll put my feet up on the table now, and mom will be like, "You want another beer?" I mean, when I was a kid, you don't put your feet on the table. That's
So no.
you can't get away with that kind of shit. So they're my go-to the week. They're really killing it for me this week. So cheers to them.
Cheers to them. Excellent job this week, Kevin Reavy.
I mean, not really. I'm almost literally mailing it in. I'm like, I'm calling it
You're
in.
calling it in. Yeah, that's
So-
right. Yeah, that's fine.
But I
So
mean,
now they
I'm
know it's a
doing my-
voicemail.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best here. I wish I could have been there. I had some stuff lined up for today, but next week's going to be awesome. I had, I was thinking today, like, oh, how do I make next week amazing? And I'm like, let's do the 12 callers of Christmas. And I'm like, you can't have 12 people calling in 1 hour. It's ridiculous.
You could
But
just
for-
ask them one question and then hang up the phone and
Yeah.
call the next
Good.
one.
For a minute, I'm like, we could make this work. And I'm like, how do you do that without pissing off 12 different people?
True.
So maybe not that crazy, but
Speaking
next
of
week's going to be
Christmas,
fun.
speaking of Christmas and next week is our last episode of 2018. We're going to take a little holiday break. This is just a reminder for all the listeners out there, and maybe you too, Kevin Reavy, that we're going to take a couple weeks off, and we'll be back to finish off the first season of Might Be Sports in 2019. So next week we'll come at you with some fresh sports talk, maybe some Christmas talk. Kevin Reavy will be live in studio with us. Excellent job, CJ. Wonderful job this week.
Thank you.
And new episode of Might Be Brews is going to be up on Friday this week, so make sure you check that out, as well as all the other great shows on the Might Be News Network. Kevin Reavy, thanks so much for calling.
Hey, it's been fun. Let's do this again, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much. Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.